and welcome to Yarning at the Homestead. My name is Tammy and I am coming to you from the state of Connecticut on the east coast of the United States. You can find me on Instagram as Gracie's Goodies, Graceys, Goodies, and on Ravelry as Tammy with a Y-G, so Tammyg. So yeah, lots of things going on in our world lately. I do not have COVID-19, but March 8th, it was that Monday before, I went to the doctor and I did have a viral infection. And so I had been on some antibiotics, some cough medicine, some stuff for my allergies, and unfortunately that kind of caused an eye allergy situation, and now I'm also on a antibiotics for an eye antibiotic drops, and I just finished up with a steroid. So yeah, that's been fun. So I have not really wanted to do a lot of crafting, even though I have had a ton of time. Our last official day of school was March 13th. I had 9 students out of my 21 students show up to class. We did not know that that was our last official day. So yeah, we still have all of our stuff in the building. The kids pretty much have all their stuff in the building. They told me to clean out their lockers. I had 9 kids because they were going to spray down the lockers. And then when we were talking about it, I said, well, kids still have to come in and get their personal stuff. And they're like, well, they took home all their stuff from their lockers. They have personal stuff in the classrooms too. I have eyeglasses in the classrooms. So we don't know if and when we're going to be allowed back into the building. As of right now, no one is being allowed back into the building for at least 2 weeks. It's being totally shut down for everyone, except for the custodial guys who are going to be doing the deep cleaning. Yeah, it's a pretty scary situation. Most of us feel we're probably not going to end up back at school this year. So we'll see. We on Monday, the Board of Ed is going to be voting on whether or not we're going to be getting April vacation, which would be the week following, would be the week starting on the 13th. But they did a poll. They surveyed all the unions, the administration union, teachers union, the para union, and they also surveyed the parents through Facebook and asked. And the majority of us have said, let's work through April vacation, and then we're going to get out a week early in June, which that's what I voted for too, because we just really started the distance learning, the official learning this past Monday, even though we had 2 weeks since the 13th. And I was giving my students work because my students we already had done Google Classroom and everything. I'd used it in the classroom. So they were familiar with it. So they just went on. But the problem has been that many of our students don't have devices because I teach in an urban, a high poverty urban district. And so, yeah, the school district decided to give out all of their old Chromebooks, not the new ones, but the old ones. Unfortunately, several children from my class didn't get them because the letters didn't reach them in time. They only did a pass out last Monday, and then they decided they were closing all the buildings because the health department has said that we're on an uptick. And so, yeah, so not my entire class can participate in the online learning. So it is what it is. It is what it is. So because of all of this, I have not felt like crafting, but I have done some crafting. So let's get to it. What have I done? I finished 4 hats. 4 hats. Really 3.5. Okay. So let's take a look at them. So they are, where's the other one? This one? Okay. This hat actually was already a hat. I had made it into the Vermonter. I'm sorry, I don't know the name of the designer off the top of my head. And I didn't like it. I have like 2 other Vermonter hats and I love them, but for some reason this one it kept pulling up and it was too short and I didn't like it. So I redid it using the Last Minute Wow Factor hat, which was a free pattern that came in a kit with this. So this yarn is by White Birch Fiber Arts, and she is the one that does a lot of my self-striping. Actually, I have some of her self-striping right here. This is We the People, and it self-stripes really cool with the blue and then all the shades of people. And then I also have this one right here, which is Squad Gold. So she does a lot of self-stripe, and I picked this kit up at Stitches United the last time it was in Hartford, which was 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. It was obviously canceled this year. And it came with the pattern, and so I redid this one, which is Canon hand dyed, okay? And they're pretty much the exact same. You know, hers is a little bit more speckly, hers is a little bit more faded. This one I think had I think this came in 106 yards and this was 105 yards, or this one's 106 yards and this was 105 yards. Obviously, this one is a little bit longer. I made out of the large size, and this one I made in the medium size. So this one's actually a little bit longer, but it actually fits my head a little bit more snug, which I like. Okay, so this one's a little bit longer. So you can see it. It's a little bit longer. So it's a little bit more droopy on the bottom. I'm going to move this back just a little bit. A little bit more droopy on the bottom. And then this one is the large. And this one's actually a little bit bigger on my head. And I've worn it a couple times, so it's stretched out a little bit. So I don't know how a lot of my hats do that. They stretch out a little bit. Do I just block them? But the problem is I'm afraid to block them because I've blocked some hats and they've become humongous and then I can't wear them anymore. So I'm afraid to get them wet at all. So if you have any tips for me on that. And then my friend on Facebook, Laura, she's not on Instagram. She made her daughter a COVID-19 hat. And I said, oh my God, I gotta make one. Hers was all red and then it had a mask on it. But I just went with the simple color picture that it's on the news all the time. So yeah, so I made that one. And this one, obviously these two are knit. And this one is crocheted. And this I just made up. I just kind of followed the regular beanie crochet pattern that I know in my head. And then I just kind of, these are just it's just a single crochet. So it's just a single crochet that kind of twists on itself. And then there's a lot of ends inside, which of course I'm not doing anything with. So that's my COVID hat. And then this one it was already partially done. This part was done. Okay, and this is obviously a baby hat. I have an adult hat of this. And this was from Loopy Mango. So this yarn is Loopy Mango Merino. And it's two yarns, a green, the hunter green, and the natural, held together. And supposedly you were supposed to be able to make two hats out of it. However, because I made the pom-pom, I didn't have enough to finish this hat. So I ended up grabbing some, it's right here. I ended up grabbing some, I think this is Blue Sky. Yeah, it's Blue Sky Bulky. Okay, and I grabbed that from one of my local yarn shops, and I just finished the hat up, and then it's all ready for a baby. It's all ready for a baby. So 4 hats, 3.5 really, hats that I did, and then this hat, I redid. The hat itself, I didn't do anything with. It was the pom-pom. It's on this, I don't know if you can see it, because I've kind of sewn it back in, if you can see it right there. It's on like this green stretchy cord, and I had just sewn it on, and then the pom-pom just moved around way too much for me. So I just went in and re-sewed the pom-pom to make it a little bit less. See how they get big on me? They get big on me. So now it's like a beret. But they get like huge. How do I stop that from them getting big? How do I make them back smaller, tighter? How do I do that? I guess I could get them wet, throw them in the washer, in the dryer, but then I gotta remove all the pom-poms. What a pain in the patooey. Okay, so those are some finished things. Now, the other thing I finished was this. I can't remember the name of it. I think it's called One Shot. I will put it down. But I have this yarn. It is Caracal by Malabrigo. And I had 2 balls of it. And this is really, it should have come out bigger, but I didn't have the right size needles. So it has for 19, and the biggest I had, I think, were a 13 or a 15. I don't remember which one I used. And so, of course, it's a lot smaller than it should be. But it's good for just a shoulder shrug, which is fine for me. So it works as a shoulder shrug. You know, throw it over your shoulders. And it's super warm anyway because of the bulky and everything. So, and I can maybe put a button down here on the bottom. So I can maybe put a button right there. So it will button and stay, or just hang off the shoulders. I'm good with that, okay? So I kind of did it because I had the balls hanging around, and then Gigi did her whole orange thing. I didn't actually join the whole thing, but I said, you know what, I've got something. I think it's orange. It is orange. It's also very red. So, yeah, so I finished that. That was whipped up in a couple hours. Yeah, even when I ripped it all out and redid it again, it was still only a couple hours. So those are all my finished objects. Now, I do have some stash acquisition that I'm going to share. I just got these in. They were shipped on the 19th of March from England. And so I've been following Stripey Cat Yarns on Instagram for a while, and I just really liked the yarn, but it was hard to justify the cost of buying one skein of yarn and the shipping from England to the US. So I waited until I wanted 2 skeins of her yarn. So this is called Snapdragon. So can you see it? I think I'm going to actually cast this on because it's such a spring color. So spring color, you know, and I could do my crown, the whole crown thing that everybody's doing right now. And then this one is Dobby is a free elf. And yes, I get the whole, let's not support J.K. Rowling, but this is not supporting J.K. Rowling. This is supporting Stripey Cat Yarns. So I have, those just came in yesterday, the day before yesterday. So it took 2 weeks to ship from England. So what else have I been working on? Well, I have been working on my Breeze shawl, and I'm into the 3rd color. So I haven't done this in a while. So I don't know if you can tell, but the 3rd color is a darker. So you can see this is lighter grays with some speckles of dark. And then the 3rd color, which is right here, is more dark grays and black. So they're not very far apart. I could pull them both out. So I'm almost done with the 2nd color because I want to be able to make a tassel with it. So here's the 3rd color, and here's the 2nd color. So I'm almost done with the 2nd color, and then I'm just going to go as long as I want for the 3rd color. I'm not a very tall person, so I don't need a really super long shawl either. So that works. So I've been working mainly on that. And then this morning I got up and I said, oh my God, I need to work on my socks. Now, I have cast on socks. So let me show you the one I just cast on. And I didn't have the name band with me anymore, and I had to hunt. I have to know what yarn I'm using. So I hunted through my Etsy, and I couldn't find it at first. Then I hunted through my PayPal, and I couldn't find it. I went back through Etsy, and then I'm pretty sure that this is, and the sun just went away. I'm pretty sure that this is Malia Made It in the Me Too colorway. So we got this colorway, and then we got here, I'm going to just flip this light on to see if this helps. So yeah, here we got a contrast color, and I just kind of did 2 rows of the contrast color on the top. But I'm pretty sure this is the Me Too colorway from Malia Made It. So yeah, so I did cast that on. The other thing I cast on, I forgot to grab it. I'll grab it in a few minutes. Actually, I'll grab it right now. Just hold on. It's right here. Okay. So this I bought at one of the yarn crawls. And this is actually the yarn shop that is the closest to me. I don't tend to go there a lot. I mean, she's very nice and I like her. She tends to have mostly Noro. But she had this kit. So this is the kit. It's for the blue spruce socks, and they're like a really thick, it's a worsted weight. They're a thicker sock. So I did cast on just the cuff right now. So I've only gotten the cuff done, and it's a twisted rib cuff, which I don't know if I've ever done before. Because they were there, and I decided, why not? Let's cast them on. So I decided to do those. I did have, I'm sorry, I forgot. I did have one more finish. I made a gnome for St. Patrick's Day. See, he's all green. Now, he was pretty much finished. I just recently added the bell on, so his hat wasn't quite done. But yeah, so I made a St. Patrick's Day gnome. Yeah, because my husband said, you should make a gnome for St. Patrick's Day. And I said, I can do that. I also made a gnome for Yarn and Yarns shop, and it's on its way out there to Wales. I never sent anything to Wales before. It was pretty exciting. So hopefully she'll get it probably in 2 weeks. So that was pretty cool. All right, so the other socks that I've been working on, the Malia made it, and then these, which are so not my colorway. These are by Fiberpunk. Out of, this yarn is Fiberpunk out of Ireland, and the colorway is Merfolk. So, and again, it's just my 2x2 ribbing, and then I'm doing the vanilla latte, which is a 6'2", and on 2.25, I think. It's a size 1 here in the US. Yeah, 2.25. Haya wooden. And actually the only thing that I did different with my Malia Made It is I'm actually using a size 0, and I normally cast on 56 stitches, and I decided to try a size 0, but I cast on 64 stitches to see if there's any difference in there. My socks tend to be a little looser than I would like, but I mean, I'm a big girl, but I got skinny legs. Well, from my knees down now, my thighs are pretty big now. My dad, when I was growing up, he used to always say, I don't know how you walk on those toothpicks. Anyway, that was my dad. And then this morning I started working on this one to finish it up, and I got to the heel turn. So these should be getting done soon. This one should be getting done soon. And I will cast on the other one right away. And my little gnome from Wee Ones. So yeah. So the other thing I was going to show you is a couple of old languishing projects that I picked up at my other house. So this I started making so many years ago. This is called Block on Block Skirt. You see it? And it's out of this Hip to Crochet book. I have to actually I have to do the math, because obviously they only have the biggest size they have in here is a large, and I'm not a large. So I have to redo the math, but there will be some stretches. But I kind of wanted to show you my color scheme is this. This is my color scheme. So, and I'm not a pink person. And I started making this, I don't even know how many years ago. But yeah, I just really liked it. And I found this that I made for myself when I started making this. And the yarn is Lion Brand Woolies. And I have all the yarn. I have a big old thing of it. So hopefully I'll be able to make that. I doubt it'll get done for Rhinebeck, but I'm thinking maybe for Rhinebeck. I'm not going to make it as long as it is in that one, because remember, dude short. So it's not going to be that long. Yeah, so mine will not be that long. It'll probably come to just above my knees. So, and the other one that I pulled out, I love granny squares. I hate putting granny squares together. So I used to be in this group called on Crochetville. There were a lot of issues, and our group ended up being disbanded and stuff, and we're still friends with people. But we had this whole thing for a while. Everybody was doing what we called saltines, which are the tiny little granny squares. And I ended up starting to make it's like a quilt made out of the saltines. So there's my quilt block right there. And again, pink. Can you think it? So I recently found it, and I again have all the yarn for it. So I'm going to continue working on it. I have probably another row of saltines that are already done that were in a bag, so I can add them onto it. And so this will be a long-term project. This yarn is a red heart, and I believe I'm using a Karen. I think the pink might be a Karen. I'm not sure. It could be all red heart. I know that the variegated is red heart. So it could all be red heart. And it's really, it's not too yucky. So, but I would like to have this done, even if I make just a smaller one. I may just make a small one and not a full-size bed one. So I think that is it. I think that is it for what I have been doing. As I said, life is as life is. I don't go out. I've gone out a couple of times in the past couple of weeks, delivering eggs, because we are still having our eggs. So delivering eggs. I went out last Monday to help at school with delivering Chromebooks, handing out Chromebooks. We weren't going anywhere. We had parents drive up in their car, and then we checked their letter, their address, and then they were handed a Chromebook. That's about it. I mean, 2 weeks ago we went out to get cat food, but that was it. I mean, pretty much I've been in the house, and to be honest with you, it's not much different than what I do on the weekends and what I do in the summer and what I did over Christmas break. I can hermit with the best of them. I wish my Wi-Fi was a little bit better, especially now that I have to teach using it, but it's workable. It's workable. So I hope everything is well with you and in your part of the world. And I hope we all get back to normal at some point soon. All right. I'll talk to you again later. Bye.